Okay, guys, so I don't make too many Badgers videos, but I felt like I needed to make a video about this. This game, Wisconsin versus Washington State. Wisconsin loses 31-22 in Pullman Stadium in Washington State. I think they play in, were they playing, like, Spokane or something? I don't know, but if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Badgers were down 24-9 coming into the second half. They put together two incredible drives, missed the two-point conversion, so it's 24-22. Washington State gets the ball back. Badgers sack the quarterback, Washington State quarterback, what's his name? Something Ward, but he's really good. He showed that tonight. I'll give him credit. He's a very good quarterback. Sacked him in the end zone. Knee was down in the end zone very clearly. They didn't call it a safety. They called it at the 1-yard line. So that would have tied the game, right? So instead, they're punting away. So the Badgers get the ball around the 50-yard line, and Ches Mosley takes the ball, runs it up the middle for about 6. So he's down, and everyone's kind of getting up, and then all of a sudden, Washington State players are like going, hey, we have the football, we have the football, we have the football. You know, as sometimes college football players do that to try and, get the refs to make a call or, say, like, convince them, like, oh, we have it, take a look at that. They called fumble on the field after Washington State players started doing that. Upon replay review, you couldn't tell exactly what happened. To me, it looked like he was down. It was one of those plays that was going to be called in the field, right? The only thing is that they only made that call because Washington State players were saying they had the football. Only reason. I saw there was no indication that there was a fumble on that play until Washington State players came out of the pile with the football and started saying we had the football. They blew the play dead, and then they said Washington State football because Washington State players said they had the football. I mean, they had no idea what was going on that play. It was so clear that they had no idea. They had no idea what was happening. And they just decided to call, oh, yep, fumble. None of them saw it. None of them saw that ball come out. They only saw the Washington State player come out with the football at the end of the pile. There was no indication that there was even a fumble until the Washington State players started saying that there was a fumble. So you go back and look, and to me it looked like he was down. There wasn't a very obvious, clear angle that showed it, though, so naturally they're going to go with the call on the field, which was, oh, fumble. Washington State takes the ball down the field, scores, game's over. That was it. I mean, 2 plays that swung everything in the game. And yep, I know. I'm going to get comments in my comment section that say Wisconsin should have played better in the second half. Why were they down 15 points? I agree with you. I agree that the Badgers played like shit in the first half. Guess what? They played really good in the second half, and they didn't deserve to have those efforts undermined by a biased officiating crew. That was a Pac-12 crew, by the way, working a Pac-12 home game. Pac-12, by the way, losing UCLA and USC next year to the Big Ten. Primetime game, ABC, one of their last teams in the conference next year going up against a Big Ten school. I wonder what the incentive is for Washington State to win the game. I wonder what the incentive is for the Pac-12 crew to give Washington State favorable calls. I don't know. What could it be? To me, it's very obvious that this game was, at least from those 2 plays, I mean, especially the fumble. Like, I think the worst call was the safety because that was clear. But, like, just in terms of, like, the sheer, like, brutality and, like clearness of how fixed the game was in favor of Washington State, like, that fumble was really it. Because they did not call fumble until Washington State players started saying they had the football. And when they started doing that, the officials, you could see them looking around like they were confused. They were like, wait a minute, what happened here? They saw Washington State come out of the pile with the football, and they called fumble on the field. They didn't see it. None of them saw it. None of them called fumble on the field. Not one of them. But, Pac-12 is flailing. They're losing a lot of teams. I think they're losing Oregon to the Big 12. I think they might have already lost Colorado to the Big 12. I don't know, but they are going under as a conference by next year. This could be a last gasp for them. They want their team to beat the Big 10 ranked team in prime time. So naturally, with a Pac-12 crew, they're going to call a favorable game for Washington State, including 2 plays that probably should have went the Badgers' way but didn't. And that ultimately was the difference in the game. Final score was 31-22. And like I said, I know the Badgers played like shit in the first half. I know it. Their pass protection was garbage. Their pass rush was garbage. Their coverage was garbage. They made great adjustments in the second half. They were getting pressure on every play. They were covering their receivers well. Tanner Mordecai, by the way, best quarterback to play at Wisconsin since Russell Wilson. Gonna say that right now. He's gonna have an excellent year. He showed it tonight. He was calm, cool, collected, under pressure, on the road. Made an insane throw to cut the game to 1 score to Skylar Bell. Looked like Aaron Rodgers on that play. He's a great quarterback, man. None of that game was on him, by the way, because the fumble that was returned for a touchdown, Jack Nelson's block didn't hold up very well. And that's your left tackle. That's the guy protecting your blind side. Twice that happened. And that's not acceptable from a guy who was projected to be a first-round draft pick coming into this season. So, yeah, though, I just needed to get that off my chest. I'm not going to be making very many Badgers videos unless it's, like, unique situations like this, but just felt I really needed to say something about that because that was, frankly, embarrassing. I mean, on national television, everybody saw it. Everybody saw that it was a safety. Everybody saw that, they didn't call fumble until Washington State players came out of the pile with the fumble. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about this one. I am encouraged, by the way, about the way the Badgers played in the second half. If it wasn't for those calls, I definitely think they come away with a win. Game that I really didn't expect them to win coming into the second half because they looked atrocious. But really, those calls to me undermine those really good efforts by the Badgers. And, at the end, after they called the fumble and then, they're kind of out of gas at that point. I mean, come on. And, I'm not saying that the Badgers didn't have opportunities to get off the field either. The 3rd and 9 that Washington State converted was a backbreaker. But still, those 2 plays, man, it swung the game. It swung the game. I'm sorry. But anyways, guys, that's all I got to say. I'll be there with my reactions tomorrow to the Packer game, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys next time.